woke up this morning and decided to take a train to a country I've never visited before. So today we visit Luxembourg and you get to see a solo perspective towards one of the richest countries in the world. Let's see how that goes. We've arrived in the second richest country of the world. In terms of how to get here, I think it's quite straightforward. If you're coming from Germany and specifically NRW, then you should take a train to Koblenz, which is usually the RE5, and from Koblenz you take a direct train to Luxembourg, the RE11, which I think runs every hour. So yeah, getting here is quite straightforward. Now let's see what we have to discover here. One interesting thing about this country is that most of the architecture that you see around here, this is the kind of stuff I've seen across the city, which is quite different from any other European city, I would say. This is the famous Adolphe Bridge in the middle of the city, and it's quite surreal to see that in just a couple of minutes on foot from the main train station. These are the kind of views you get. And while we take a stroll at this Adolphe Bridge, I think I arrived here at 1 p.m. and I have no plans but to explore, eat good food and just see what this tiny country is all about. Just look at that. But this particular thing where you see like a barrier going up and down, which will move in due time. This is supposedly the panoramic view that we get of the whole city, and yeah, I should be there soon. I'm waiting for it to move so I can show you what it actually looks like. And while you're here, I prefer just walking down the city, but you could choose one of these cycles just to explore the whole city. It's not very big in terms of size, so you can definitely just hop onto a bike. This is the National Library. Honestly, I'm running short on time, otherwise I would have definitely spent some time reading. That's the cathedral that you see right behind me. The Notre Cathedral. Turns out it's the only one in Luxembourg, and quite nice actually. I mean, looks very peaceful. Unlike most public cathedrals that we probably come across in Europe, it's less crowded, and honestly, yeah, if the cathedrals are slightly empty, then it can really be very nice and peaceful. So spent a couple minutes in there just sitting all by myself, and yeah, not bad. This is essentially the palace, quite heavily guarded. As you can see, one of the officers right here. But if you want to take a break, just relax, a couple of cafes right opposite. An all English bookstore in Europe is quite an anomaly. I honestly couldn't stop myself, but there's a kind of a flea market situation going on over here. Nothing that I read about this online, but looks decent. Picked up a burger from a Colombian food truck. Let's give this a shot. One thing you'll notice immediately is that the landscape is quite dramatic. The city is literally built on hills and valleys. About solo traveling is that just the kind of different interesting people you meet. I truly believe that the one reason why I stepped out of my home country was to meet new people, different cultures, different mindsets. It's super nice to just sit down and listen to where they come from, what their beliefs are like, what their culture is like, how they look at things, just get a fresh perspective. I think I find that very interesting.
So right now I'm walking through the historic Casemates du Bock, one of Luxembourg's most fascinating landmarks. It's carved into the rock centuries ago. These underground tunnels once served as military fortifications and shelters during times of war. Stretching for kilometers beneath the city, they earned Luxembourg the nickname Gibraltar of the North. As I walk through these narrow passageways, it's incredible to imagine the soldiers who once stood guard in the city above now enjoy the views that you get in the loopholes once you're in it.
We're basically walking in a cave. So the Casemates du Bock was basically made in 1745 by Austrian engineers. The whole point of creating this is that you can find beautiful views, as we saw just one of those. So this is the view from the other side. Actually, a fun fact about Luxembourg: around 50% of their population or more, by the way, that is the population is already only 500k or so, are actually outsiders. They're all foreigners, and thousands of people actually commute on a regular basis from here to Germany, Belgium or the France borders, because like I said before, Luxembourg has a lot of jobs and financial jobs and etc., but a lot of it's very, very expensive to live in this particular city, so people actually prefer staying in one of the other countries that I spoke about, just on the border, so you can commute on a regular basis. Secondly, if you're looking to come here, I would say you should only do that if you really are a fan of different loopholes with a view for a city, because honestly, above this particular rock, there is a bridge and you get like a similar kind of a view. But in any case, if you're interested, then it's ideally 11 euros for an entry fee for one person, but if you're a student in the EU, then you get for 9 euros after showing your student badge.
This is the panoramic view of the city.
So I think you just saw that we got the panoramic view of the city, and this is where there's a connected lift which takes you downstairs. So this is where the exit is, and we actually come out to a very beautiful area. I think this area is called Pfaffenthal, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong. Looks quite beautiful actually. And by the way, the panoramic view is totally free of cost. You could absolutely go there and get a glimpse of the whole city. I would honestly say this is my favorite part of the city so far. It literally feels like a hidden village beneath the capital. most of the tourists stay up top, but I would honestly say that the real charm is down the river. I mean, just look at that. You got a lot of greenery above the houses, which I absolutely love, on the hill. On closing thoughts, if you would ask me if it was worth the trip from Germany, because it's honestly close to 4 hours each side, and if I would come back for, let's say, a weekend to this country, I would probably say yes, 100% sure. I usually like cities which feel which have the livable quotient high. I think this was one of them, keeping the expense factor aside, of course. But yeah, Luxembourg was good. Definitely exceeded my expectations, at least from the outside. When you hear from the world that there's not much to do, it's a dead place, people only go there to work, I don't think that's completely true. I beg to differ. And here's Koblenz. I'm about to board my next train to my current city, and we'll call it a day now. Cheers, guys.